Right, so I'm back with another episode of Top 5 Mods. It's another week, which means there's a new list of mods. And that is about it. That's the intro. So last week I finally got around to dealing with my fanatical religious cult and super clingy ex-roommates. The cat sanctuary is doing pretty well actually. As you may remember, I had a nice suit of Liberty Prime power armor. Well, I sorta ran out of AA batteries, so I kinda had to leave that thing behind. Also, it had no AC built into it, so I had to take different measures to cool down. But it's getting kinda chilly up here. Okay, that's better. So I went clothes shopping in Diamond City, Fallon's basement to be exact, and I found the Gunslinger outfit. So this is a nice dark outfit that only makes you look like a slightly gay cowboy. It does seem to fit a tad bit better on the female characters, but that creepy wasteland surgeon is quite expensive. Anyhow, it looks worn and beautiful, it's got Vault 111 markings on the back and it's got a hat with some playing cards. Overall, a very stylish outfit. But the Liberty Prime power armor also had a built-in filtration system, which I kind of miss. So to preserve my young and athletic lungs, I built some special Raider gas masks. I was in Diamond City. This mod adds in a whopping 7 gas masks, 1 for each special attribute, hence there are a few flavors you can choose from. Bloodsucker for strength, Bullseye for perception, Doomsday for endurance, Pearly White for charisma, Grease Monkey for intelligence, Green Phantom for agility, and finally Lucky Bastard for luck. So these are all good looking gas masks and they add 1 point to their respective special attribute. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, maybe not. Talking with that thing is rather difficult. Also, I couldn't really see shit, because some idiot decided to paint over the eye windows. Oh wait. So as I mentioned earlier, last week I really tied up some loose ends, and in order to do that I tried to build a synth army. Well, there's been a slight complication. Preston sort of stole my synth producer, and then dropped some of his own DNA into it. I don't even want to know what type of DNA swap he used, but he's been using that thing to create his very own army of Preston clones. Now some people would consider that to be narcissistic. I went to my castle, which has been under construction forever now, but I went there to celebrate my victory over my 2 fanatical groups, and there were Prestons posted at the front gate. Inside, in the tower, they took over my bar too. There were just Prestons everywhere. Although these look like knockout versions of Preston, so I think something might have gone wrong in the cloning process. But they all still keep yammering on about settlements, so at least they got that part down I guess. It's literally my worst nightmare. And if the cloning and settlement talk was not bad enough, he's also started hanging up weapons everywhere. Weapons on these beautiful field weapon displays. He went so wild he even covered up the front door. But yeah, this mod adds in a ton of good looking weapon displays, including small guns, big guns, energy weapons, boxes of ammo, mines, and even melee weapons. It can definitely spice up your settlement. But not only did Preston place down weapon displays everywhere, he also made himself head of the Minutemen's PR department, and he started putting up Minutemen propaganda on what little space is left in my castle. Now there's just a shit ton of flags, promotional posters, inspirational posters, slightly threatening posters, and banners just everywhere, all promoting the Minutemen cause. I worry that Preston might be becoming slightly militaristic, so I'm probably going to have to deal with that situation sometime in the near future. So I left the castle because my eyes started hurting and I couldn't take the settlement talk anymore. I decided that this time I needed to stock up ahead of time. So we'll do that with Crude Blowback. So this mod adds in a DIY weapon. To get it you'll have to go to the Chestnut Hillock Reservoir. Go to the very end of the pier and you'll find one on top of the crab trap. It looks pretty good and it's fairly customizable. You can go for short and sweet or long and strong depending on what you prefer. The reloading animation also works and it just fits right into the Fallout world. But I need something a bit more professional, you know, I have an image to maintain here. So what better than a tactical lever action rifle? So this mod allows you to pimp out your lever action rifle to your taste. You can add a bipod and a bayonet, as well as change the shininess of the metal, the color of the grip and the stock, and you can add one of 3 camo patterns. So I went with the most extravagant one, Red Urban Camo, which really allows me to blend in with the urban environment. It also really ties together the slightly gay cowboy look I'm going for here, so I'm satisfied. So to get a rough estimate of how effective these weapons would be against Prestons, I stole some Prestons from Preston. I mean, he has a surplus of them anyway, I'm sure he won't mind. So the automatic blowback seems to be good for laying down some suppressive fire. The semi-auto 308 version seems to be rather quick and efficient, and the lever action rifle is just so damn tactical. I mean, not very practical, but you don't need practicality when you got tacticality. Some of these synths are rather resilient though, which worries me. Also, in my search for new weaponry, I encountered raider children. It appears that raiders across the Commonwealth are building a child army, abducting kids, indoctrinating them, and feeding them Tic Tacs spiked with psychedelic drugs. So I thought this was pretty dark, but then suddenly I had this weird feeling that in an alternate reality I was a game show host that may or may not have condoned a slight amount of child murder and also has a weird obsession with wooden floors. Well, oh yeah, but anyways, while I was downtown, a squad of child raiders ambushed me. So I had no choice but to shoot all of them. They just kept coming and coming, charging at me with their tiny pool cues. I truly had no choice. Although that was the perfect opportunity to really test out my half-shitty pipe weaponry and tactical lever action rifle in an actual firefight. Though to this very moment I can still hear the sounds of their tiny heads exploding. But to clean all the children's blood off my clothes, I decided to go to Goodneighbor. And apparently in my absence it went through quite the makeover. It's now a better Goodneighbor. So this mod transforms Goodneighbor into a lively town. It adds in a bunch of new objects, signs and graffiti. The central street has been turned into a marketplace with a ton of voice traders, all with very unique shops. There's a cup scam artist, there's a robot that I'm pretty sure is the money launderer, a naggy orphan that will make you feel bad about yourself, an artist that will buy paint cans off of you. You can also get guns, meat and veggies. There's a guy that sells shitty souvenirs, and finally there's a guy that sells coat hangers. Basically everything you ever wanted from Goodneighbor. It really brings the town to life. And without this mod, you'll notice that Goodneighbor just looks very barren in comparison. So yeah, that brief moment of pure capitalism almost made me forget about shooting all those children. But what really helps you forget about shooting children is shooting other people, and bonus mods. So this week we've got Hero's Revolver. So this mod brings over a revolver from a certain other game. It's flashy, the textures almost look passable. You can modify some basic things and you can use it to shoot Preston clones with. It's pretty effective at that too. If that does not cut it for you, you can also use it to beat Preston's heads off with. But then I sort of accidentally threw a grenade, blew some guy's arm off, and pissed off the entire town, but they promptly forgave me. Fortunately the guy's arm was still blown off, although he didn't really seem to mind it all that much. And then he just resumed sweeping the floor like nothing ever happened, with his arm levitating just beside him. It was pretty weird. I think he might have taken some of those Tic Tacs. Anyways, that was it for this week's match. Yet again, some very solid mods in there. What will Preston do with all these clones? Is Tinker Tom really actually dead? And will I keep this fabulous look? You'll have to tune in next week to maybe potentially find out. I have not decided yet, actually. But until then... See, I don't have a heck of a lot to ramble on about here, so you'll just have to watch that video instead right there, and subscribe, of course, very important. Although I do have one thing to sort of rant on about. I went through this entire process to claim a YouTube name. You know, you used to be able to just create a YouTube account and get an actual channel name, but with that whole Google Plus integration, the process has been made rather difficult. Man, I've never been through such an emotional rollercoaster trying to get an actual YouTube name. But all I gotta say is that Google Plus is just a fantastic platform. I love Google Plus. But yeah, I think I might actually make a separate video about this, because I went through an entire process. The rabbit hole has never been deeper to try and get a YouTube name. It was truly fantastic. I love the experience overall. I've never been through such a convoluted experience with Google. But yeah, anyways, the point I'm trying to make here is that we should all really switch to Vimeo. We know that is the superior platform. Or maybe Bing should make a video hosting website. I mean, Bing's got potential, right? I think Bing should totally do that, yeah. But anyways, that was pretty much it.